Hi everybody, Stu, AG6AG. We're going to show you real quick how to do your submission for field day if you happen to be one of those guys that's running just VHF and running just 2 meters on FM for the contest. Here in Ventura County, we're doing a little event help on this by making sure that we have people all over the county that are going to be participating, giving ourselves the ability to make QSOs. Anyway, once you're all done, you need to submit those scores. So, with that, let's take a look at the process. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to go ahead and open up my browser. I'm going to ARRL.org. I want to get over here to the search, website search, and the keyword I'm going to stick in here is field day. All right. Top thing, field day. Imagine that. Okay, so let's go on down to the bottom section here, and I want to talk about, let's see, field day entry results and submission deadline, and here it tells me where I should go to make my submission. Now, this talks about all the things that I'm going to need to provide, but guess what? We're talking about working 2 meters FM only for this field day, so this is going to be a piece of cake. First off, I have to put in the call that I use. AG6AG, that's my call. Now, it asked me for a go to station call, but hey, I'm not a go to station. I didn't have a go to station, so I don't need to worry about that. I'm just going to leave that blank. Now I'm going to pick my section, and I am in call area 6 in Santa Barbara. So Santa Barbara is my what? It's my ARRL section. It's what I've been given to every contact that I made, so I know what that is. Club or group name. This is special for 2020. So I can put my club name in there, and then when my score gets published in QST, my club name will wind up next to my name and my score. Kind of cool. And you know what else they're doing for 2020? They are going to go ahead and they're going to take everybody's score that enters the same club name that I enter, and they're going to aggregate them together, and they're going to publish them on a page of just clubs. Now, let's face it, my little contribution to my club isn't much, but you know what? They're going to add everybody's points together to give that total aggregate. So every single entry helps. So make sure you put your club name in here. After all, you're turning in your score. Oh, and by the way, if you think you didn't make enough contacts, if you think, oh, I made 2 contacts, I made 3 contacts, I only made 1 contact, it doesn't matter, okay? It's important whenever you compete in a contest or do something like this, because of course we all know field day really isn't a contest, right? It's an emergency exercise. But when we do these things, we should always file our logs. Why? Because this is evidence that ARRL can use when dealing with our political leaders and explaining to them how well we use the bands and how often we use them and how it would be absolutely awful if they tried to take them away. So just a heads up, right? ARRL is our political arm. Give them the ammo to fight and protect our bands. All right, off my pedestal. Let's keep going. So for me, my club name is Ventura County Amateur Radio Society. Okay, I have to make sure I spell this right, because if it isn't spelled right, or if it isn't exactly the name of my club, it's not going to get grouped in all the other clubs. So you need to be careful with this. Rumor has it that ARRL is going to have a pull down that when you start to type, it'll begin to give you choices of clubs that it knows about, so you can pick the right one. But be careful because ARRL may not know your club name by the club name you're used to using. A great example is we have a big club out here in Ventura County called CVARC, Canal Valley Amateur Radio Club. Well, ARRL knows it by its legal name, which is Canal Valley ARC Inc. So if those people don't get that in right, they're not going to get a proper aggregate score. All right, so enough about that. The rest of this is really simple, okay? I'm going to have number of participants, one, that's me, just one. Number of transmitters in simultaneous operation. Well, you probably have operated with a single radio, okay? Or you've operated with a single rate antenna with maybe two radios and an AB switch, okay? That means that you had one transmitter. Even if you had two radios, if they're sharing the same antenna using like an AB switch, it's still only one simultaneous transmitter. Now, let's say that you had a 2-meter mobile and a 2-meter HT. You use them both, then they're both independent of each other. So guess what, right? That means that you have two radios or two transmitters that can operate simultaneously. And of course, you use them both for the contest. So that number of transmitters would be two. But let's take the example. You have a little 5-watt handheld and you went out and put a cool antenna on it, like a mag mount, or even put up a J-pole or something in your backyard. We're going to say that that's a single transmitter. But we're just going to keep with that thought. Now, that HT has a battery. So, as long as you don't charge the battery during the contest, okay, and you can use that battery for the entire contest, or swap that battery out, put another battery in, but not charge any until after the contest, that means that you are on 100% e-power. And if you do it in your backyard, you're at home. That makes you a home station on emergency power, okay, or a Class E. Now, you're going to need to check with the way you're operating, how you plan to operate, how you plan to keep your batteries charged, things like that. Work with somebody in your club if you're unsure. Read the rules, and if you're really unsure, contact the ARRL and ask the question about the particular method that you should claim that you're operating. In my case, I'm a 1E. Okay, I'm going to be working exclusively on emergency power. So it's going to ask me, and I'm going to be working on battery power only. Now, this next one's pretty cool. Let's say that I've got an HT that does 5 watts. All right, that puts me at low power, and I'm on a battery. So guess what? I get a 5x bonus for all my QSOs. That's really cool. That means each QSO I make is worth 5 points, versus if I was low power here at 150 watts or less, each of my QSOs only worth 2 points. Then, of course, if I'm running over 150 watts, my QSOs are going to be worth 1 point. That's all this question means. So, in your particular case, right, in this case, if you're working on HT at 5 watts, guess what? You're 5 watts or less, okay, on battery power because you're never charging the batteries on commercial power during the contest, right? That gives you a 5x bonus. That's amazing. Now, there's other bonus things in here. Of course, 100% emergency power, you qualify for that. Let's see. I'm just looking here. You're not in a public location, so you don't get to check that one. Let's see. The site most likely isn't going to be visited by an official unless you're too loud at night and the local department comes and visits you, but I don't think that would count either. Let's see, or by a served agency, or by a educational activity. You're not doing one of those. No youth participation. Gee, it doesn't look like I have to check any of these. Look at that. So that's cool. I got my 100% power checked, and that's all I need. All right, now, oh my God, the hard part. Nah, not really. Check this out. So basically, I ran nothing but 2 meters, and I ran on phone. That's just, the same as talking on the phone. And I had 4 QSOs total. Can you believe it? I got 4 QSOs, huh? On 5 watts. That is friggin' amazing. Now, it wants me to upload a dupe sheet. Well, what's a dupe sheet? In the old days, we used to have a piece of paper and we'd set it down and we'd write the suffix of a call. It had all the prefixes of calls listed on them, and we'd write the suffixes in. So if we were talking to somebody later on the same band, we'd be able to see that we had talked to them before, and they would be a dupe or a duplicate, okay? Well, with computers, we don't do that much. You're going to be writing the call down, and most likely it'll be fairly easy for you to determine who's a dupe and who isn't, just on a paper log. You may even have a computer log, and then you can upload a Cabrillo file. Okay, but we're going to have to make my own dupe sheet here. I made 4 whole QSOs, so I'm just going to bang one out really, really quick on Notepad. So to get to a Notepad, let's see. Let's see. I want to do, let's see, Windows R, and I'm going to run Notepad. And there's Notepad right there. And now, this is for AG6AG 2 meters FM phone. That's just to say that, all right, there's my info. Okay. Now, I talked to, let's see, who did I talk to? I talked to AG6AY. I talked to AB6ET. You can't see, but I'm going down through my log here. I talked to W6KME. And who else did I talk to? Oh, yeah, down on the bottom, I talked to KM6CCI. There are my 4 calls that I talked to. All I got to do now is I'm going to save this. I'm going to save it as, and let me stick it on the desktop so I know where it is. I'm going to save this as dupe. Dupe sheet. All right. We'll go ahead and close that. So now I'm going to choose a file to upload. And what am I going to upload? Well, I'm going to go to my desktop and I am going to upload. Where is it? Where is my... Nope, that's downloads. There we go. I'm going to upload dupe sheet. I'm just going to put it right there. Now, what else do I have to do? Well, I don't have a go to station. Yeah, I got to put my name in and my call sign down here at the bottom, basically swearing that these statements are true. And then, of course, my email address. And that's it. I am set. Oh, there's something I'm missing. Oh, I know what it is. Well, I hate to say it, but it's not going to let me submit it until the actual event. So with that, hey, that's all there is to it. That was pretty simple. Quick review. Your call sign, you don't have a go to station. The location is your ARRL section. You have used that for the entire contest as part of your exchange. You should know what that is. Your club or group name, be careful. Make sure you pick the right one or all your buddies are going to be mad at you. Number of participants, guess what? It's just you. The number of transmitters, guess what? It's probably just one. I worked in my backyard on a little antenna that I made, a little J-pole. So I was a home station on emergency power, right? And I ran completely on battery because I didn't recharge my batteries on my HT. I just had 4 batteries for it, right? And then 5 watts or less power, I get a five times multiplier. So all I had to do was say 100% emergency power. With this, it gives me my multiplier. That 100% emergency power means, well, what did I actually make in points? Well, let's see. I had 4 points, so I had 4 times 5. I had 20 points. Then I get an extra 100 points here for emergency power. So that's 120 points. Not bad. That's all there is to it. You can't tell me that's hard. You can't tell me you can't do that. I know you can. If I can do it, anybody can do it, right? So with that, hey, go out there and good hunting. And I hope I get you on the air during field day or talk to you just for a nice rag chew. But for now, this is Stu, 73. Hope to hear you out on the air.